Jai Guruji. And I think it's going to be another beautiful hour of, talking about Guruji, who is responsible for each and everything, who's responsible for this moment of mine that I'm sitting here, who's responsible for creating, I think, each and everything in our life. And if when we talk about completely surrendering and we see how, our day goes by and the decisions that we take, and if we do or we think everything with the idea that Guruji needs to guide us in all of that, sometimes you will see signs of how beautifully Guruji, executes the whole thing without you realizing it. And later on, you realize that how did it all fall in place? Simple things like I was supposed to travel and the situation was very bad in New Delhi. And I just thought that I should because Guruji only had planted that thought in my mind and for reasons best known to him. And how in the middle of so much stress in India and around, how he made it possible and how he showed his presence um, with everything, and how things just fell in place was a complete indication and sign that it was happening the way he had designed it. And this is happening, every day if we, make that conscious effort to kind of, um, ask Guruji to guide us and to show us what is supposed to be done at a particular time. On this thought, there is a beautiful satsang which which happened when Guruji was in the Sakshat Roop in front. And it shows, and what it goes to, tell us is that basically uh, anything in this life is possible if we actually learn how to trust without a question, if we actually learn how to be patient enough to get the answer from Guruji. And in this impatience, we don't lose our faith and we don't end up basically taking a decision or doing something that probably he would not have wanted us to do. That is something very important to keep in mind. So, based on that, there's a beautiful satsang about Jalandhar. And it used to be one of Guruji's favorite, one of his favorite satsangs. And my dad, my father, usually talks about the satsang, but today I'll do it, though it was basically involving the entire family. So Guruji was in Jalandhar and we were posted out to Chandigarh. There was a phase in between. And we would travel to Guruji every weekend and come back on Sunday night so that we were in time for our, next day work. My father would be ready for work and I would be ready for school. So one of those days in on Monday when my dad had something very important in the army, and he was told to, basically reach the office by 8 o'clock in the morning. And the last train was at a particular time. I think the last train was around 4 o'clock from there to Chandigarh. And we thought that we could not afford to take the 4 o'clock train because it would reach very late, and my father would get very late in reaching the office. And it was a very important meeting in the army. So but though we left it to Guruji. So Sankaji, even at that time, we have never asked Guruji, we have never gone up to Guruji and said, Guruji, ए काम करना है ते जल्दी जाना है, या कुछ भी, कभी भी कुछ नहीं बोला। गुरुजी अपने हिसाब से अपने टाइम पे भेजते थे और हमें पता था कि जिस टाइम पे गुरुजी भेज रहे हैं वही टाइम सही टाइम है हमारे लिए। So my dad, I mean, we all went, we were all there, and Sunday came, Sunday night, and the train back, to go back, like I said, the train was around 4 o'clock, which is very late. So there was another train around 2:30. And we thought that we were under the assumption that, okay, so Guruji was sent at 2:30 because he knew that my dad had to reach. And 2:30 came and went. And at a random time between 2:30 and 4 o'clock, Guruji suddenly got up and he said that now you go to the station and now you take the train back to Chandigarh. So, which was very unusual in terms of the logistics. There was no train at that time. So we thought that probably we need to go to the station and probably wait for an hour there for the next train. And my dad was getting a little worried because the next day he had to be at the office at any cost around 8:30. But anyway, since Guruji said and everything, and he had kind of blessed the whole thing, so we went to the to the station, and as Guruji had directed, the time that Guruji gave, and the entire intricate details Guruji had given कि इथे जाना है सामान उठाओ तो सीधे स्टेशन जाओ. We followed everything and we reached the station. And the moment we reached the station, there was a train that was coming in, and my dad happened to ask that ये train किथे जा रही है, या he asked the platform people, and they said that they had no idea that about this train because this kind of a train had never come in at this time, but it was going to Chandigarh. So my dad was very surprised, but there was no time. And it was basically an hour before 8, before 4 o'clock, before the 4 o'clock train. So my father quickly said, he told everyone to get onto the train, and we all got in. The train was absolutely empty. It was a little scary because we didn't know the name of the train. There was nobody on the train, but we got on, and very swiftly everything happened. This train, we had no idea. What is this train? There was nobody on it. And we got onto the train. We got down. Our driver reached exactly in time. Everything happened like flawlessly, like one after the other. And in a nutshell, my father reached exactly at 8 o'clock at the office. And everything had fallen in place, right? Like the train, of course, and on landing, the everything was in order. Our driver was there, and he made it just in time. Now, my father was very curious to understand and to know that where did this train come from and what was the name of this train. We had no idea what we've traveled in and come. And even when we were sitting in the train felt like as if it was just flowing, flowing in thin air. It didn't even feel like it was actually on the ground. That was the feeling we got, that it was just flowing because it went at a really great super fast speed. So the next day, when my dad tried to find out that what this train was and where did it come from and everything, uh, none of the railway station people had an answer for this. And everybody said कि सर सब पता नहीं है कौन सी ट्रेन थी, कहाँ से आई थी, और इसका नाम भी नहीं पता. So my father was so perplexed and everything, and we all were, that we didn't realize what had happened, but we were very surprised. Uh, the next week, after I think 4 days, 4 or 5 days, when we went to Guruji back, and the moment we went to Guruji, so Guruji said, "और फिर सत्संग 10 वो घोस्ट ट्रेन की." So this is the name that Guruji gave. Guruji gave the name Ghost Train to this satsang, which was a very, very powerful satsang to tell us that actually Guruji can do next to impossible things. But again, through this, we've seen how Guruji tested, how Guruji taught us patience, how Guruji taught us how to wait. And then whatever he said, practically it was absolutely next to impossible, but it happened. And he made it happen. He planted the train there. He made sure. And this was after the fact that there was no communication with Guruji. Like my dad didn't go up and say to Guruji that Guruji, अरे मुझे अगले दिन जाना है, या मेरा कॉल, कुछ नहीं बोला हमने आज तक. कभी कुछ बोला ही नहीं हमने गुरुजी को कि गुरुजी ये करना है कि कैसे करें आप 10 दो, कुछ नहीं. तो गुरुजी को बिना कुछ बोले, बिना कुछ बताए, बिना कुछ कहे गुरुजी ने टाइम पे पहुंचाया। गुरुजी ने एक ऐसी ट्रेन को वो करा, क्रिएट करा, जो हमें आराम से लेके चले जाती। और क्योंकि हम इस स्पेशल ट्रेन से गए थे तो हमें थोड़ा और टाइम मिल गया था गुरुजी के साथ, तो गुरुजी मेड श्योर दैट वी गॉट abundance of that. And finally, Guruji only gave it a name, the ghost train, to tell us that uh, this was me who was doing it all throughout. So, Sangaji, today also I feel, and I kind of feel it all the time, that every second actually there is a miracle which is happening around us. But to sit down, to acknowledge it, and to thank Guruji for that, I feel is the biggest thing that you can do. Because कई चीजें हैं ऐसी जो हमारी आराम से चल रही होती हैं, हम उसके लिए भी नहीं थैंक्स करते, और हमारे साथ तो गुरुजी हैं। तो गुरुजी इतनी सारी हमें ब्लेसिंग्स या मिरेकल्स या कुछ ना कुछ दिखा रहे हैं, जिसके सामने कोई शब्द नहीं है। मेरा, जैसे मैंने बताया, ये भी एक ट्रैवल का था जो मैं अभी करके आई 3 साढ़े 3 दिन के लिए। वो भी ट्रैवल का था, कहीं से नहीं हो पा रहा था, सिचुएशन वाज बैड। Everybody told me to cancel the tickets and not to go because it was the most volatile time. And मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि गुरुजी ने मुझे पुश करा था टू कम देयर फॉर रीजंस बेस्ट नोन टू हिम। बट मुझे करा था, मुझे अंदर से ये आवाज थी that Guruji wants me to go there for a reason. Guruji wants that I should, somehow make it there. So when this entire, when this entire trip was made, all the forces and all the information and everybody, barring a few people, wanted that I should not go because it was. But this is what I say, that today at this point of our life, if you understand to communicate with Guruji, you need to get into that really deep zone of interaction with him, which is very personal, which is a lot of intuition that he guides you. He gives you that silent conversation. He gives you those feelings and those, thought processes where you know what is what. Today, without sitting for hours in front of Guruji or without sitting in the mandir for hours, but just keeping Guruji in my mind every second of the way, he has given me enough, I would say, enough ammunition, enough energy to understand that Guruji is guiding us today. He is guiding us so much that it is, I mean, it's eerie. And when you think about it, how he makes the most impossible things happen, you feel that you're going to miss out on a huge thing in life by not making or not taking the steps that Guruji has designed for you. So to create a train and for us to reach in time, and for that train to be not a train which anybody knew about, or which is a regular train, was a very, very huge thing. And every satsang has a message. I think every story with Guruji has a message. But if we don't listen to this message even now, and we live in our, that zone of our own arrogance, trying to give ourselves a pat on the back rather than fully acknowledging that it was through and through Guruji, then there is going to be a problem. So I would say just the first thing is to be very open, and to be very truthful, and to be truly, truly thankful to Guruji for, giving these opportunities and moments where we can actually feel him. Because so many times people who don't come to Guruji, they do not know what it is to feel Guruji, what it is to understand about Guruji. So this is one very, very beautiful satsang of the family. And it happened in a way which is unimaginable, unbelievable. But that's what Guruji does. He makes everything happen, but at his own time, in his own way. So this was one beautiful satsang. The other one that I would like to talk about today is, I want to talk about the time when Guruji sent me for further education. So Guruji sent me to Bangalore to do my master's. This was after I got married. So he said to, Ja or Bangalore, but which means that go to Bangalore and study there. So I was happy, but at the same time I was very confused because Guruji had just gotten me married and now he was talking about moving out. So I was a little skeptical. But if I talk about it honestly, but that did not stop me from doing what I had to do. I carried on doing. I found out about the colleges and everything, and I created that, got everything ready and went ahead and reached Bangalore for my masters. When I reached, what do you call, uh, Bangalore for my for my studies. Uh, I used to basically go there and I used to come back every 15 to 20 days. I used to just rush back to Guruji. So one day when I was sitting with Guruji and Guruji just turned around and told me कि तू बहुत छुट्टी मारती है, means you take too many holidays and now you should go back on the day when you're supposed to go back. So I got little this thing that Guruji scolded me, but Guruji, I'm staying back only, to be with you. But since Guruji said, I that I think it was that time only when I booked my tickets right on time to go back. Now my tickets were booked right on time, and I decided that I would probably reach Guruji in time. So my tickets were booked, everything was booked, and I was getting ready to leave the next day at a certain time. I get Guruji's call on my phone, and Guruji said in his language, he asked what I was doing and what was I up to, which I felt was just a mode of communication. Honestly, there's nothing to talk because he knows everything. But anyway, so I just told him that I'm supposed to be going, and this is my ticket, which is almost being done. So he just looked at me and he said that, Tuna, something else he told me ki tu air kar lena, which meant that at that time when I was supposed to go, he gave me some work for that time, which I didn't understand. And I thought to myself that, uh, wow, I had to be, doing something else, but now Guruji's give, how am I going to manage this? So, when I was there with Guruji and when I was sitting and getting ready, so Guruji कहते हैं कि तू Guruji says that come to me at a time, and that time was the time of the flight. So the moment he said this, that I knew in my heart of hearts that it meant canceling the ticket. So I canceled my ticket. Guruji didn't say anything else. He just said one sentence that come to me at 3 or 3:30, whatever the time was. And that was it for me. So I understood that he was trying that I should cancel. I mean, he hinted that I should cancel. So I canceled my ticket and I went to Guruji in Empire State. The moment I reached Guruji in Empire State, Guruji says, you come very late. You should be coming in early. So you check in early and have your Langar Prasad here only. And then I will send you back in the night post the dinner Prasad. So, and he said, just tell your husband only and just tell only your mother. So I was a little too happy to believe this because honestly, all my life I wanted to be with Guruji. So for me, it was like a piece of cake. I was like, Ji Guruji, I'll do it. So I canceled my ticket. Everybody in the house asked me, when will you go back now for your studies? I said, don't worry, Guruji is there. Either he's made me leave the course or or he will guide on what is to be done. Sangaji, like this, we spent at least I spent almost like 2 to 3 months. And then Guruji made me do a lot of satsangs in a lot of places. So I did all of that. And then Guruji looked at me and he asked me, कि अब तू खुश है? तो कि तू अब खुश है? तो मैंने I just told Guruji, I said, Ji Guruji, because he gave me the biggest thing that I wanted, which was to basically just be with him. So this entire time that I was with Guruji, Guruji made sure that he told me, he said that do not call up Bangalore, do not ask anything about your course, don't say anything, you just be coming here early in the morning and going back in the evening with your husband. He'll come to pick you, you have langar and you go back. So I carried on like this about 3, 4 months. We actually leave the course. So anyway, it didn't matter because everything was planned by him. So I was with him and I spent such beautiful moments with him. But at the end of it, Guruji sent me also to do some satsang somewhere. I did that. And at the end of it, after about 5 months, 4 to 5 months had passed, Guruji said, now you call up Bangalore and you check what is happening. So believe me, when I called them up, I think all my friends had thought that I had gotten some news from somewhere, and that is the reason why I didn't come back to college, whereas nothing like this had happened. So they told me that because of the bomb and everything, there was a small attack in Karnataka. Around 12 to 13 people had died. And, uh, this whole thing that was happening, and 12 to 30 people had died and all of that. And Guruji says that, tu pata kar ki Bangalore which ki ho raha hai. So when I called up and I checked with them, they all were so upset with me, my friends, because they thought that I probably knew much initially what is going to happen, but I hadn't told them. So when I got across and I explained to them that I had no idea what they were talking about, they told me that there was a rule that the university passed which said that 10 people would not be writing the exam together, and they were divided into batches of 5 and 5, and 5 people were writing the batch at that particular time, and 5 of them were writing it later. So when this thing happened and I came to know that uh, a rule like this had passed, and Guruji had passed it. Guruji passed this rule because probably he knew that inside me that this was that this was what he wanted for me, and he wanted to give me that time with him. Those 6 months that I spent with Guruji in Empire Estate were simply out of this world, simply like completely out of this world. And simply out of this world. And when this whole thing happened, and I was happy that, something like this I had been given, I thought Guruji would be talking about this a lot to me. And but the only thing that Guruji told me was ki, so you've seen what has happened. And I was very excited, and I told Guruji that, Guruji, uh, I was happy. I just smiled and I said, I was happy. So Guruji says that, Acha, now this has happened. Now you just complete and complete your course and get your result, and plan your family. And I blessed you with a baby boy. So this whole, and I used to wonder that, there was a lot of time for me to finish the course. There was a lot of time for me to complete my studies. So why was Guruji telling me so often that, just complete and just complete and just get your result and just come back? So I little did I know that the planning of Guruji was so intricate that those 6 months that he gave me with him were my biggest source of strength. And they are my biggest source of strength till today. And why he was saying the way he was saying was because when I came back and I thought Guruji is going to talk to me all of these things and everything, and he said all that, and the only thing that Guruji said is that study and get your degree and plan your family, and I blessed you with a baby boy. So I kept wondering, why is Guruji saying that? And the beauty of the timing was such that Guruji said it because 15 days of my coming back and he telling me this and he making me spend those 6 months with him, Guruji took Mahasamadhi. He left his physical form. He completely, I was completely devastated when he left the physical form. I didn't know how to cope up and I didn't know what to do because this was something which was beyond my imagination and thought process, that we would be probably having a day like this in our lives when Guruji would not be in the physical form in front of us. And it took me a lot of time to recover from this. But the fact of the planning of Guruji, which was so intricate and so beautiful, of having called me, of having kept me for 6 months with him, of having me, feel his presence in every way possible, was something that he gave me before he left that form. So initially, I was very skeptical. I was very skeptical about the fact that, how am I going to do and how am I going to manage everything? But the fact that Guruji had said this and he kept saying that, just get your degree, was enough to tell me that he had already chalked this out and he had planned it, and he had shown me the way ahead. And I did exactly that. I went back, I studied, I cleared my degree, I got my degree, and I planned my family and I conceived it. When I conceived, I knew that I was going to have a boy. So my elder kid, my son, 16 years today, was a blessing by just Guruji just saying that I blessed you with a boy. Even much, much before I had decided to even plan a family. And the beauty was that today, all these children who have been blessed by Guruji, in every child is blessed. So all these children, you can truly feel, a lot of energy in them, which is very divine, a lot of power, which is very divine. And he planned it out. I got busy with my child, with, when he was young and everything. And I think over the period of time, I realized that Guruji was so much more around now. But it was sad for me because I had grown to be, grown up with him. And for me, it was seeing him in that form day in and day out. And it took me a lot of time to cope up with the fact that he was not in that physical form anymore, but he was so much more around us. But the planning of Guruji, the way he timed it, and the way he planned it, and the way he made sure that things fell in that place and he made everything fall in place, was something which is truly magical. Sometimes when these things are happening, we don't realize what he's doing. We don't realize the timings. We don't realize why at this time this and why at that time that. But when you take a step back and you sit and you think and you understand that every moment is beautifully orchestrated by him. Every moment is beautifully designed by him. Every moment is beautifully structured by him. But then again, the point is that that can only happen if you put in your faith and you put in your trust towards Guruji. And that is the beauty of, you know, uh, of the fact that I got to be with him. Like I was with him always, but to be with him day in and day out, which was honestly a dream for mine, which Guruji made it happen. So this was in the physical form. When I conceived the second time, and I used to think in my mind that, of course, everything is happening with Guruji's blessing. But I used to think in my mind that if there could be some kind of a message from Guruji that, he's there in the second time also. And how Guruji sent a message after I had conceived through a very, very close Guruji's follower and a relative of mine. that tell her that she's going to have a baby girl. And this was in my 7th month of pregnancy. And she came, she met me, and she told me it was a direct message to tell you that Guruji has blessed you with a baby girl. And so my second one was completely and completely Guruji's blessing also. And how he made sure that there can never be a thought that would remain in my mind that he would not have taken care of. But the whole idea is that I want that Guruji has to be and should be a part of everything in my life. It's not necessary that things go the way you want them to go, but if it is with his wish, if that is what he thinks is best, so be it. And that I have knew before, but as you become bigger, your responsibilities keep growing. You come through a lot of challenges in life where you look for support, and where you look for Guruji guiding you in which direction. It could be the change of a city, it could be the change of a job, it could be anything related to your children, anything. So no, because they've grown the responsibilities. At that time I was young, and now the honestly the wish is that Guruji guides me so that I can guide the children, or I can guide my husband, I can guide the family ahead. But he does it. He gives you those messages through some way or the other. But you have to make the effort to connect with him and to do things in, showing your love towards him. It's only then that he can actually do what he is doing and what he wants to do for us. Guruji used to say कि मैं बहुत कुछ देना चाहता हूँ, but people don't ask for the right things. I want to give so much to people, but they're not ready to receive it. So he is ready to give us. He has so much to give us, and he is giving us. But are we really open to receiving it? Have we really cleansed our, internal system? Are we in that form where we can actually receive and feel one with him? Is a question that probably we need to ask ourselves. So, Guruji, the biggest blessings I always say are children and health and marriage and work. I mean, everything is important, but very, very important to have good health and children. So, I would just say that Guruji has taken care of every aspect of my life, which he himself told me in black and white words that I am with you at every phase of your life. He said this to me. And yes, he is. He is so much more there today because he is not limited to the physical form. He's so vast and he's doing things the way he's doing it. I'll stop here, and I have 2, 3 more satsangs which I will do next time. But for today, because this was in a certain direction, and I will leave you to think about what I've said and probably join the dots and understand that Guruji touches every aspect of your life. Guruji makes a difference in every area of your life. But you have to be open to be receiving what is it that Guruji is trying to give, and not cloud it with your own emotions and with your own thoughts. Jai Guruji.